my name is Heather Ramsay, and today I'm interviewing Pam Craig, a member of Rotary and the school district trustee. I'm Heather Ramsay, and you're watching HTV. What is Rotary?
Rotary is a group of people that do some amazing things in the community. We do things to support all the community and especially individuals in the community. And Rotary is a group of like-minded individuals that really like to be able to do things for their hometown. And one of the major things that I joined Rotary for was around helping others in our community and finding interesting projects that will invite all members of the community to come and participate. So it's been a wonderful time for me to be in Rotary. I calculated that I must have been now a Rotarian for 15 years. Unusual that this is the 15th year of our banner painting program, but I was surprised after I sat down and did the math. 15 years, and I've had a wonderful time being a member of the Arrowsmith Rotary Club in Port Alberni.
What is the banner painting program?
Well, the banner painting is a community banner painting program. And we, as a Rotary Club, chose Argyle Street as the Rotary Arts District. And to brighten that street, we took on painting banners for the community. Now, we don't necessarily paint banners ourselves, although some members do. But mostly we invite families and other individuals in the community to come along and give us their creations and paint these beautiful, beautifully colored banners that go up along Argyle Street every year. And we've had some wonderful, wonderful responses and amazing, amazing banners. Apparently, over the time we've been doing that, we've had over 900 banners created for the Rotary Arts District. And what I get excited by is how many returning families come back every year and have the whole family take part in creating a banner. Plus, we've also had many classrooms in the school district for Pacific Rim School District also participate. So the young people get an opportunity to see their creations up on the street right from probably mid-May to late September. It all is dependent on the weather, of course. We want to be able to get them up when it's dry and sunny and clear, and the same when you take them down. So it's several months that they're up there for viewing, and we often have comments from visitors to the community talking about the beautiful creations. One thing that's really impressed me over the years around the banners is that there's never two the same. There may be similar subjects, but the creations are truly artistic and pertinent and unique to those people that have created those banners. So pretty exciting to see what happens when people are allowed to get out there and give of themselves and create something really spectacular.
How would someone sign up to paint a banner?
Well, what we've done this recent years after the closure with COVID and that, we went to a paint at home program. And so now we're inviting people. We're right in the middle of our final year of banner painting and one more session to go. And we ask people to contact our club through Arrowsmith Rotary Club at gmail.com and sign up to register. We'll send you a registration form and you can partake. We've got one more session coming up in the first part of April, and then we're finished for the year, and they will have them ready to go up by mid-May, late May.
What's the last day?
The last day to get registered would be April the 5th.
Have you ever painted a banner?
I have, and I've truly enjoyed it. I was able to paint with my grandson a couple of years in a row, and he truly, truly enjoyed it. He's now 22 and mentioned to me the other day when I was talking about the banner painting how much he had enjoyed that as a young person, and loved to see his banner up on this light standards on Argyle Street. And in fact, he still has his banners. I think he has a total of 3, so he truly enjoyed it.
What were some of the things you painted?
Well, it was my grandson's choice, and one year we did birds, another year we did cats, and then he tried landscape, mountains and rivers. So he's had several different themes, and I just said, you decide what the design is and we'll make it work. It was a learning curve because the banner, you have to do both sides and they have to complement each other so that it can be seen from both angles. And that takes a bit of learning, but working together, I let him make the decisions and we worked through it and they turned out spectacular. And like I said, he still has them, which is pretty nice.
What would you do if you could paint your own to this year?
Well, it's hard to think until you're right there to make the final decision. But likely for me, I have an affinity for different kinds of cars, the beautiful streets that we have in our community. It would be interesting to do something along that line where you would see a long stream of very different vehicles along maybe Argyle itself or 3rd Avenue. It would be kind of a neat picture way up high to see all that long line of cars on the street. That might be my choice.
How would someone help support the banner program and Rotary?
Well, one thing you could do is let people know about the program and encourage people to participate and talk about it amongst your network and the people that you know. You can do that. Oftentimes we will have an event that people could attend and support. We recently did a puzzle program and we did very well. The community supported an amazing program which was based in art. We had a beautiful artistic drawing by Shelley Penner of one of the old trucks out at McLean Mill. And it was an iconic picture. So many people in the community purchased one of those puzzles and that's helped support our banner painting as well. But also we ask when people register for banners that they register at a $15 cost. And if they want to keep their banner, it's $35 total. And along that way, we can help pay for the banner program. It doesn't pay for all of it, but it certainly helps. We have banner stands that have to be constructed. We have to purchase paint. And we also need to have the grommets, very special little grommets in the banners so that they can be attached to the light standards. And that takes a few dollars to do that, as well as the material. We buy a big bolt of material, have it cut to length, and then we hire someone to sew it so it's ready to go. So there's all those little things that do add to the cost, but we ask people to commit by registering and paying a registration fee.
How does the program get started?
It has to happen in right after the holiday break, early January into February, just to make sure that you can get all the banners created. People have time. People are busy, so oftentimes it takes longer than they realize. So you want to make sure that people have at least 2 weeks, and we do it in 3 phases. So we try to complete everything by the end of April and then be ready to have them up as soon as the weather permits in May.
What are some other programs Rotary does in the community?
Well, you might recognize that we did support that beautiful mural on the Canadian Maritime Engineering building at the bottom of Argyle. And we partnered with First Nations, Tashot Nation, and they came along and gave us advice on how to create that. We had an artist come along and take their requests. And in the end, we have a beautiful, beautiful mural along that building that really talks about the history of the Tashot Nation and how it became a nation. And that bottom area of Argyle was their ancestral homeland, and oftentimes would come in along the water there after they'd been out fishing and actually whaling. The Tashot Nation was very good at whaling hundreds of years ago. But anyway, that was an amazing project that we had. Also, one of the other projects that we did was, if you think about Victoria Quay along the Somas River there is a picnic table that has a cover, a viewing deck. And we sponsored the money for that viewing deck. And then years later, the city came to us and said that they were going to have to do some upgrading. It had been there for about 15 years, and suggested that some community members would like a cover so that they could sit there when it was raining or sunny and spend some time. So that's one of the ones we participated in. We did the original viewing deck, and then in 2001 or 2, we put up the cover over top of the deck. And it's always used. Every time you go by, there's somebody sitting at the table or standing underneath the viewing cover so that they can see what's going on in the river. But also, I see a lot of people during the season when the fish are running to look across to see if there's any bears across the inlet there. So we're very proud that we've been able to do that. We did also support the playground at the bottom of Argyle in Harbor Key area. We helped out with some of the furniture at Echo Center, and we do bursaries every year for the North Island College and ADSS. So we've been very, very busy as a group doing lots of things for the community.
Wow. What are some international programs?
Some of the international programs that we've supported through a group of other Rotary groups that come together, and we've done some work in Africa with supplying cash and people too for building latrines, also for wells and finding ways to bring water closer to some villages. And one of the major programs over the years that individual Rotarians support, not necessarily the club, but individuals will support the Polio Plus, which is an international program for polio vaccinations. And in fact, one of our members also had traveled to India and partaked in the actual administering of the vaccine for polio. So pretty spectacular things over the years to see that making a huge difference in control of the spread of polio around the world. And right now it's really been reduced because of that hard work quite a bit, because they have the vaccine ready for many, many areas that couldn't access it before.
How would someone join?
They can call Arrowsmith Rotary Club at gmail.com, and we would schedule them to come to one of our meetings. Our particular club, we meet on 7 a.m. Tuesday mornings and get together and often have guest presenters and small projects to discuss. So anyone is welcome to come by and visit with us and see if they would like to join the club. And then we would talk and see if they want to formally join. So that's the start, anyway.
How did you first find out about it?
I found out many years ago from one of my employers had been approached by that Rotary Club to see if anybody wanted from that business to join. And at that time I worked for the Alberni Valley Times. And they said to the staff, is anybody interested? I said, I'll go along and have a look and see. And I visited three meetings and then decided that I would join. And I've been working, as I said, figured out 15 years. So I've thoroughly enjoyed being there and getting to know people. Also, it becomes close friends. You get to know the other members of the club, so they become part of your network and your friends as well.
What are some hobbies you like doing?
Hobbies, I like to do some drawing too, and do a bit of that. I love to read and do a lot of that. But also, I like to watch for specialty cars. And also I had enjoyed and still enjoy watching stock car racing. Drove a few stock cars in practice and thoroughly enjoyed that. So I haven't lost that. In fact, I have my racing checkered flags on today.
How did you start that?
Actually started when I was a teenager, and we had a local kart track here in Port Alberni. And a friend of mine had a race cart, and I had a chance to run it, so I got hooked. It was lots of fun. And then we joined a club on the island and traveled to different races, and never drove in the races, but actually had an opportunity to practice now and again.
What do you love about racing?
I really like the challenge, because I think people think you're just going around in circles, but no. You need to know how that vehicle works. You need to understand how the engine works. You need to understand what it feels like and understand how to make the car go as fast as it's possible. They talk about watching the track and making sure you know your marks, and that makes a difference. If you know how to get into a corner and out of it quick, then you do better in the race. It's quite an exciting sport. Oftentimes people will say it's like a chess game, really, because you've got to be thinking ahead all the time.
Are there ways racing helps you in your daily life?
I think so, because you can't participate unless you can be part of a team. You have to be a member of the team that supports one another and works together, because you just don't get along through something like that on your own. You have probably upwards of 8 to 15 people that work together to make a race car of any kind work properly in a race. So that to me is what I really love, is that collaboration and cooperation and working together as a group and being successful.
How would someone get started?
Well, you get to know there's lots of those kinds of opportunities around. It's a matter of just getting out and finding who's into those kinds of things, contact them, offer help. Volunteer is a big way of getting involved in those kinds of things. Oftentimes, just helping out a little bit gets you in to understand what's going on, and if you really would like to do it. One of the biggest things is about that network that you build, the associations and the individuals you get to know and get connected to. And you can do that so easily just by giving some time and supporting them.
What are some other things you do in this community?
Well, right now I am a school board trustee, elected in 2022, and the term in municipal elections is 4 years. So I'll be a trustee right through till 2026. And I love that so much. I enjoy working with students, finding out how to manage to use our resources to best suit every single student. In our school district, Pacific Rim, we've got almost 4,000 students, and on our geographic location, it's quite large, so it's Bamfield, Ucluelet, Tofino, and Port Alberni. So that is a large area to look after and to make sure that every student in that whole region has an equal opportunity to be successful at school.
What does a trustee do?
Well, our biggest job, of course, is to make sure that all the budgets and the funding that we receive from the ministry and the government is spent appropriately and as it should be for your district. And through that, oftentimes we get the opportunity to lobby the ministry, make sure that they understand the Pacific Rim School District's a unique place, has unique needs, and make sure that they understand that the requests that we're having are for the benefit of the students in Pacific Rim. So it's a big job, and I thoroughly enjoy it. We have one public meeting a month, but we have many committee meetings and other things that we do to support students. And in fact, I was at a lot of carnival events this week at Alberni Elementary and enjoyed that tremendously. Always attend Tonum Tournament, always there for our track and field and for the other programs that students are doing. It's very important for trustees to be there to see what's going on as well and try and help out as best they can. I even had an opportunity to give out croissants the other day for a celebration of the Carnival Week at Alberni Elementary.
What's your favorite part about being a trustee?
I think my favorite part is really having an opportunity to talk to students. And one of the biggest things that trustees like is what we're talking about is student voice. Finding ways to communicate with students to hear what they think and what they would like to see. And we've done several projects with our social justice class at ADSS. We're working now with the climate action student group as well. And that's really rewarding because students really are thoughtful. They have some great ideas, and it's very important for trustees to hear that directly from students and work with them to find a way to put those things in action that they are wanting to happen.
Why did you want to be a trustee?
Well, I guess I came by it because of my family history. I'm actually the fourth generation in my family that has been a school trustee. I go back as far as the 1800s when my great-great-grandfather immigrated to Port Alberni. And in fact, he was the first mayor of Alberni. There was two communities here at one time, Alberni and Port Alberni. And in 1913, he was the first mayor of Alberni, and very interested in schools as well. He was not a trustee, but very interested in the schools at that time. And another grandfather emigrated from Scotland, and he was a trustee. My father was a trustee and a city councillor. And so it came by naturally, because that's the history. Those are the discussions that were in my home. Around a family dinner, we always were talking about community events, what's happening in the community. The family has always been interested in those kinds of things to support community. So I guess that's how I got there.
Did you like school when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did. I probably got teased by that. Oh, a lot of kids would tease you because you were doing extra work or trying to do more studying. But I did thoroughly enjoy school, played lots of sports, basketball and volleyball in particular, worked on school clubs, worked on the Phoenix newspaper, which you wouldn't recognize. It was one of the original newspapers at the original ADHS at that time, Alberni District High School. And so came along that way through, and actually I was their sports editor for a few years. Enjoyed that too. So did a lot of things in school, enjoyed school and had fun.
What was your favorite subject?
It had to be history. I always enjoyed knowing what happened in the past and how things are, why they are today, and finding ways to improve on that and to understand what got us there and look back at the history. Also did quite a bit of work as a volunteer for the museum in Port Alberni, and they have an excellent facility with lots of the history of our community.
What did you do at the museum?
Well, oftentimes we would do school programs, and there will be school programs continuing at the museum. And I would go along and help, whether they were doing crafts or working on looking for dinosaurs, those kinds of things in grade 5 program, and help out that way. And that's really an enjoyable time to watch students learn as they're looking through all the artifacts at the museum.
Have you always lived in Alberni?
Yeah, born here, raised here. My grandchildren are 5th generation of this family that are from Port Alberni.
What's your favorite part about Alberni?
I think it's the beauty here. We are so fortunate to have such a beautiful community to live in. We have access to everything that we would ever need. Distances aren't great. If you live in larger cities, it takes longer to get to different places. But in Port Alberni, we can get around quite quickly, and we have everything here that we need.
Do you have a favorite type of music?
Well, probably do. That would be noting my generation. Really have enjoyed growing up. Sock hops at the school, all kinds of programs. We used to have bands that used to come at noon hour and play. And at that time, when I was in high school, that was during the early days of rock and roll. So a lot of that kind of music for sure. And remember all those different artists that grew from that 1955-ish through to 1965 in that era.
Did you get to go to any concerts or?
Locally, we did, but I never got to travel to one of the big concerts. But we often had some really great musicians here in this community. And we would have different events and different dances that we could attend.
Do you have anything else you would like to share?
I don't know. I can't think of anything. Heather, you've got some great questions. It's hard sometimes to answer everything, but I just want to thank you for this. This has been an excellent interview, and thank you for allowing me to share some of the work that our banner painting is doing in our Rotary Club and the things that I've done in our community. So thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching HTV. See you next time. I'm Heather Ramsay.